2 years ago, my sister Danielle was arrested for driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol. As a result, she was severely fined. She lost her driving privileges and was placed on 1-year probation. As a stipulation of the probation, she was informed that she needed to be subjected to random drug testing. In the 2 years since she's been arrested, she has been incarcerated 3 more times due to failed drug tests. She is my favorite sister. She has a drug addiction, and incarceration has not curtailed her drug use. Today I propose that criminalization does nothing to prevent future drug users or curtail current drug users from using. We need to re-examine how we fight this war on drugs. According to the Carnegie Mellon University School of Public Policy, the U.S. spends billions of dollars annually on the criminalization of drugs without any significant changes or reductions in addiction rates. If we spent even half that amount on research for heart disease or diabetes, AIDS, we might have cures for these diseases by now, to a much higher success rate. This money we're spending is having no effect. It's money thrown away. The number of people currently on drugs, according to the Mayo Clinic, is 19.5 million people in America, which is just a tad bit lower than diabetes. Okay? In most industrialized countries, drug addiction is viewed as a disease, both a physiological disease as well as a psychological disease. And yet, the number of people in state prisons or county jails for drug offenses alone has increased 550% in 20 years. And of that 550%, 85% of the people currently in prison today are in prison just for possession alone. No violent crime, not murder, not rape. Possession of drugs or drug paraphernalia. A report found that of these people who are in prison, only 10% in prison get any kind of formal drug treatment before they're released, and only 3% in county jails get any kind of formal drug treatment. The message we seem to be sending then is, yes, you have a disease, but no, you don't deserve to be treated for that disease. To me, that's as barbaric as it comes. That's like saying to the schizophrenic, like they did in the 1800s, we'll just lock you away and forget about you and leave you to suffer in your illness. Most people at the thought of that would be up in arms. That would not occur in today's society. And yet this is exactly what we're doing to drug addicts. According to, these people are, the very fact that they've been arrested for drug possession, something simple as drug possession, they're already marginalized by being drug addicts. Okay? They get arrested, they acquire a felony. This felony further marginalizes them because it prevents them from obtaining services that they could, services, programs that they could use, and not only services and programs, but jobs also that they could use to reintegrate back into productive society. Well, according to Women's Health Weekly, this marginalization is a prime factor in the drug user's return to drug use. How can you live a normal, productive life without a job, without a place to live? These people are released back into the same environment they were arrested from. What are they going to do? We're in a revolving door of failure in this. We arrest them, we release them, we re-arrest them, we release them. It's a non-stop, never-ending again, revolving door. That's the only analogy I can think. And a lot of people will say, well, you know, if we decriminalize drug use, that will cause an increase in crime rates. But again, according to the Justice Policy Institute, one of the best, most cost-effective ways to prevent crimes committed to obtain drug money is treatment programs in the community. And those treatment programs, if implemented, would cost $20,000 less per year per person than the incarceration of these same people. So the idea that crime rates would rise is unfounded. Seems to me the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over and over again and expecting different results. We need to end the insanity. We need to support new policies that will treat the addict like any other person with a disease, and give up this idea that punitive measures are going to cure the addict. If we put them in jail often enough, eventually they'll just stop using drugs. That's not the case. We need to remove the stigma of drug addiction so that people who are addicted feel comfortable enough to say, I'm addicted, and there are communities or there are services they can easily go to obtain help. We need to provide these services for the incarcerated. You know, we need to give them a support system while they're incarcerated, as well as programs when they're released so that they can integrate back into society. You know, to me it seems it's time to rally our troops, regroup, and come up with a new battle plan on our war on drugs, one that actually works. Thanks for listening.
That wasn't all that bad.